All right, so we're just going to go in here and we're going to cover a little bit about what rank and rent is and why it's a great side hustle and what you can do with it to earn passive residual income for life. There's a lot of things that keep people from being successful in digital marketing, but the main one is fear. It's fear of failure and it's skepticism. If you can get past the fear of failure and the skepticism, you can make a lot of money in digital marketing. So, what do we recommend? Of course, it is the rank and rent course and the rank and rent business model. So what is it? It goes by a lot of names: digital real estate, digital landlord, rank and rent. But again, it has nothing to do with actual real estate, right? It's you build an online asset. It's a website. You don't have to know how to build websites. We have an AI builder that builds the websites for you. Once you get them out there, business owners' lifeblood are new leads. So they're constantly scrambling, constantly trying to find new business. Well, when we can be that conduit, we can be that broker between the consumer and the business owner and bring them those new leads, we become invaluable and they want to pay us forever for long term to keep our service going. And that's how you create passive residual income for life. So we get those websites up. We show you how to build them the right way, use our AI tool. We show you how to use the SEO the right way to get them ranked. Then our secret sauce is the pricing, right? How do you price it the right way so it's fair for you and fair for the business owner? And then how to actually get that rented. So once you get one site up and out and rented, you just wash, rinse, and repeat. You go to a new market or a new niche, do the same thing. You can even hit duplicate that site that you know is built the correct way, and then just customize it to the new market, the new niche, and the new customer. But again, there's one major thing that keeps people from succeeding in digital marketing. And it's a fear of failure, and it is self-doubt. I guess there's three: fear of failure, self-doubt, and skepticism. Everybody who's had success at one point had all of that. They all had the fear of failure. They all had the self-doubt, and they all had the skepticism about any program they got into. But at some point, you have to trust in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You have to invest in yourself. If you want a change, if you want something different, if you want more money, if you want a better life, you have to do those things. You have to overcome your fear and your skepticism and your self doubt. And then you have to believe in yourself. And you have to invest time in yourself. And you have to invest some money in yourself to become successful. Because again, everybody who is successful now had those doubts at the beginning, but they overcame them. Fortune favors the bold. So again, the program I recommend, I started a digital marketing agency in 2019, and we now have offices in 2 states, had hundreds of customers. But again, what I started doing was on the side, we found out really early we were good at building websites the right way to get them ranked, to get our customers growing their business with all the new leads they got. So what I started doing on the side was going and building a website in a different niche in a different market. Once they got up and running, got leads, I'd rent them out to a business owner, and I rent them from hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars a month each. But the first 3 or 4 months was kind of trial and error and the right way to do it, the right way to price and the right way to get it rented. So now it's been perfected. So if you follow the system, you can do this with zero out of pocket costs. And it will teach you how your renter will pay you to rank your asset and to build your asset and to launch your asset. So if you do it right, there's no money out of pocket whatsoever. It's a great deal for them. It's a great deal for you. And then our pricing structure increases by the month depending on a lot of different factors within our pricing model. So let's say you start that at $150, so you can give someone a website tomorrow who doesn't have a website, put their name and their logo on it, and then that website can become 500 a month, 1,000, 1,500, $2,000 a month as time goes on based on our pricing formula. So that's where you get passive residual income for life. But if you can't overcome your fear, if you can't overcome your self-doubt and your skepticism, then go get a second job, right? Quit kidding yourself that you really want to get a side hustle or that you really want to get an additional income stream, because if you're going to be stuck on the fence all the time of skepticism, self-doubt, afraid to invest in yourself, afraid to believe in yourself, then you're never going to get there anyway. But again, everybody who has success has been there, right? They've been there and they got off the fence and they overcame it and they worked through it. So again, this digital real estate model has nothing to do with real estate. You build an asset that you own. Just think of it building a house and then renting it, except you build an online asset of a website. And then when it gets leads, and even before, we teach you how to rent it before it even gets leads, so that they pay you the cost of launching it and building your website. So it's zero out of pocket cost for you. And then the business owner's happy to have that. They're happy to have those leads coming in more and more often. So that's how we become long-term partners in their growth. We want to create these long-term relationships because then we set these up on a subscription and it bills on the 30th for the first of the coming month. So it's automatic. Once you have it up, out and rented, you don't have to touch it again. It's there, it's making income for you, and then you just put them up over and over and over. So my model is where I like to build and launch 2 new websites a month. Well, I'm running an agency full time, so if I wasn't, I would do more. Um, but if I always look at it as there's a 90-day cycle. So I launch it and go live today. There's 30 days where Google's indexing that site and trying to figure out what it's about to drive traffic to it. You'll still get leads in that 30 days in most cases, but not hundreds, right? Then in that second 30 days, it starts to pick up steam, and in that third 9 days, it's really up and rolling. So I like to have 2 websites at all time in each of those 30-day stages, and then it just builds and builds and builds. So I rent the sites I have out there, depending on our pricing formula, niche, market, and customer, from hundreds of dollars a month to thousands of dollars a month. It's something I've been doing for 3.5 years. It's a great side hustle. It can replace your income or your full-time job if you really want it to, because it doesn't take long to really get booming. So let's use an example. Let's say that you put 2 websites out every month. So that'll give you 24 websites at the end of a year. Let's say you're running those for $1,000, right? That's $24,000 a month in passive residual income. That's $280,000, if my math's right, in annual income. Now double that. The next year, you have another 24, right? The next year, you put up another 24. Where's that get you, right? In 2, 3 years, you're making over $1 million easy in passive residual income. It's real. The model is real. It works. It's a great thing for business owners. They love it because so many of them don't know how to build a website. They think it'll cost too much. They think they can't afford to hire a designer. So you come in, again, you're that middleman for them, and you set it up. So if they don't have a website, you can give them one tomorrow live with their logo, their company name, and a built site. And then again, you own the asset, so you're in control of everything. And that's the difference between this and like the master resale rights courses, which to me, that model makes no sense. And yeah, I've done it, but the model makes no sense because the more you sell to somebody who's going to sell to somebody who's going to sell somebody, all you're doing is creating more competition for yourself. And pretty soon, those courses have 40, 50,000 people in that model trying to do the same thing you're doing, trying to put out 3 and 4 pieces of content a day. And there's just no control. It's a post and pray method. And once they've gone through their friends and family, they're pretty much out of luck, right? So this you control. You control exactly how much you're making each month. You control exactly what your income is. You control exactly how many sites you put out a month. And you don't have to search for customers every day. You just don't. So within our course, we give you all of our contracting, all of our contracts, and we give you all of our templates, all of our scripting, email scripting, phone scripting. You don't have to, if you're an introvert, you can do this all through email, about 95% of it to get it up and rented. I would suggest you talk to them because you want to make sure they're going to be talking to those customers and you don't want to put a bad name on your assets. You want to make sure they're friendly and conversational before you rent it to someone. But again, we have all this in the training and how to put it in a contract where if they don't do right by your asset, you can take it away from them and then go rent it to someone else. Funny thing is, once people are into this and 3 months, 3, 4 months or so, they all start asking me, "Hey, can I uh, sign a long-term contract?" Most of them we start them out with a 1-year contract. Well, so the deal I'll usually work them is either 2 or 3 years. They have to rent it for 2 or 3 years, and then they can buy it if they want. But here's the deal. So let's say I'm making $50,000 a year off that website. Well, I'm going to charge them 2 years of income. I want my 2 or 3 years of rental first. Then I'm going to charge them 2 years of income. So that's $100,000 for that site that I'll sell it for. But you might think, well, that's crazy. Who's going to pay $100,000 for a website? If it's a young company that's growing and they're going to rent that from me for the next 10 or 15 years at 50 grand a year, it makes sense for them to buy it at 100 grand, right? So that's when you create real wealth with these assets that you